Hey, what's up everybody? This is Royce from Pedal Metal and welcome to my channel. This is update number 3, I believe, on me pulling out the transmission. All this is just to get to the internal slave cylinder, or concentric slave cylinder as they're called. Not too bad of a job, except for yesterday. At the end of the day, I did start on trying to get the starter out, and the top bolt was a pain in the butt, and that I probably had about 3 hours just trying to get that freaking stupid starter out. So now I'm ready to pull this, but the other issue was, as I almost fall off the creeper, the other issue was these two fuel lines. Just to give you a tip here, if you guys, anyone's going to be doing this on a Ranger, it's probably going to be the same way, or a Mazda B series and the 6-cylinder F150s. These two fuel lines that run across the top here are bolted to the top of the transmission, so you cannot get the transmission down. Well, you could, but you can make a hell of a mess if you rip them and have fuel go everywhere in your face and whatever else. So it's a 13 millimeter bolt that's hidden up there to get to the bracket that holds those two fuel lines on. So you're gonna have to get to that. It's a pain in the butt. 13 millimeter socket on a 1/4 inch ratchet, and the same with the starter. That wasn't, I laid across the passenger side tire to get that starter out up there. Can't probably really see it from here, and that doesn't, it's alright, but it wasn't the bottom. The other two bolts weren't bad at all. It's just that the one top one, I could just barely see it when I was bent over the tire on the passenger side looking in there at the starter. I could kind of see it with the flashlight, and but anyway, it just one of those things. You just gotta have some patience, and I ended up using, I think it was like an 8-inch extension on my it was a 13 millimeter socket as well, I believe. But anyway, so you just gotta have some patience. That's probably the worst of the job, is just getting all the exhaust and everything out of the way here, just so you can pull this. So I'm getting ready here to lower this down. Hopefully it'll go all right. So that's an update for number 3, and once I get this down today, I probably won't do much else. It's Sunday. I probably won't be doing a whole much else on but checking out the flywheel and whatnot. If I can get this down, I started a little bit trying to get it split. I can't get it split from the motor, so I'm not sure how much. I guess I'm gonna have to do some rocking and wiggling and whatnot. But all right, I'll try to give another update after this one and attach it to this one post editing. All right, thanks for watching. All right, I was finally able to get the gearbox out of the truck. Wasn't too bad. It's just getting it off the shaft, the input shaft there. Was kind of hanging up, and I ended up taking took a large screwdriver and kind of just kept wiggling it and trying to move the jack back. It was kind of a pain, but not too bad. I didn't get hurt, so that's a good thing. I don't really see anything obviously wrong with this concentric slave cylinder. I had this clutch redone 11 years ago, and I'm always suspected the garage didn't change this. I really hope they would have, and I'm pretty sure I got billed for it, but I don't know what the deal was. It never really shifted right, or not 100% anyway, after they did the clutch job. So here's a new one from Luke, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but it's supposed to be a good brand. So I'll have to put that on, and it's a quick connects there. You can kind of see the gold connector. That's where you supposedly need a special tool for that, to unhook those clips, but I just used 2 small dental picks, or the picks from Harbor Freight. I just took my time and wiggled around it, and it popped right off. I didn't really have any trouble. And then there's your, what looks like a Zerk fitting. There's your bleeder screw, for same as like brakes, and that's where you bleed your air bubbles out of. And I used to be able to get this to bleed out, and it would be fine for a while, and then it just got worse and worse and worse. And then over this past winter, it just got to the point you couldn't even shift. I'm not sure if these are bug carcasses. It almost looks like bug carcasses in here. I don't know what in the world this stuff is inside of here, but I'll probably try to clean that out. But I don't really see anything obviously leaking with this. I think maybe just being 11 years old, if that is, it was in fact changed before, which I would sure hope so, for being a $40 part that you would change out when you have this all, you know, all disassembled, because it's a lot of work to get, you know, to get everything apart. It'd be foolish to not change the slave cylinder when you're doing the clutch job, which to this day I don't think that was ever the issue with my truck. I don't think it ever needed a new clutch. These clutches in these trucks will last 150,000 miles, on up to 300,000 miles from what I read, if you don't beat the crap out of the truck, which I never really did. I never sat and did whole shots or anything like that with the truck. It was an old man who owned it before me and only put 20-some thousand miles on before I bought it in 02, so I doubt he was beating the bejesus out of it either. I put duct tape over the top here where the shifter goes in, because the garage who did this 11 years ago, the clutch changed for me, and you're talking a $1,500 job then. Now it's probably well over $2,000. What happened is they actually dropped one of the little screws for the shifter boot or something down through there, and they had to take everything back off. They pretty much ate the whole job because they had to do the whole thing, because I went to pick it up and I couldn't shift gears and I didn't know what was going on. Anyway, the employee apparently lied to the owner of the shop and did find him. He dropped a nut or a bolt down through the top here. That's where your shifter goes up through. So they ended up taking everything back apart, and I'd assume they took it apart here, I guess. I don't know what they did to resolve the issue, because it's the original transmission, but they got the floating nut or bolt out, and I don't know, hopefully, I don't think it ever did any damage. I just couldn't shift. They left the keys in the truck and I went to pick it up. I couldn't even move it. So I was like, that was on Friday night and it sat all weekend. I said, you know, you guys, what the heck's going on here? You can't even shift the truck or anything. Of course, they tried to blame me and said that I put a different shift knob on the truck, which is bullshit, because if you know anything about cars and these trucks, the way everything's secured together, it's about 50 screws that hold the boots together for the shift. There's no way I could drop something in there by switching a shift knob. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. The stupidest theory I've ever heard. But anyway, they kind of interrogated the one employee and I guess finally got it out of him that he did in fact screw up. So everyone makes mistakes, obviously, but the poor guy, I think, lost his job over it. I think if he would have just been up front to begin with, I'm sure it would have been embarrassing though as a mechanic to say, oh, I dropped a nut or a bolt down in there and now it won't shift 100%. So anyway, that's where we're at here now. And I'll do the slave cylinder here, the new one, and I hope to pray to somebody that everything goes all right. And the problem with that jack adapter is it sits so high off the jack that I don't know how I'm going to get this transmission back on top of there and rolled underneath it here. So I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to have to recruit a neighbor or somebody to help me lift the transmission back up on top of the adapter there thing, and I can get the straps on. But all right, so there we go. Do what? Subscribe.
Subscribe, Daddy. Subscribe button.